if you're the kind of person that likes to sell your poses or just package them like you're going to sell them or make them look, commercial, you want to render those thumbnails. And you always want to make sure that you use the data standard for saving poses, because that's accepted pretty much everywhere. And you might someday want to share them or sell them. Making a comic, that is one good thing that it will sort of inspire you to do, and that is to actually create the content for if you're not using your library of poses and you're creating your own, makes sense, right? You might as well have a product at the end of it all. Just make sure that if you use these dials like I'm using right here, that you remember to bake them out, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So giving her all that she's got to have. So I believe this arm of his back is right hand brush just slightly. In this arm, typically a little bit. Okay. I like the idea of tilting the pelvis over just a little bit. That's sort of a typical thing, and then twisting it because she's actually kind of going in a different direction where she's been going. Turn that just a bit. There we go. Look, I'm getting pretty happy with that set. Oh, so again, we want to go to the top level of the character. Click on the character, press Control-Shift, and I believe it's B. Control-Shift-B. Apparently that's not it. Control-Shift-B. Maybe it's just Shift-B. Yep, that's right. Shift-B. You're not seeing the pop-up, but it pops up a Bake to Transforms, and you just accept the defaults and hit Accept. And what it'll do is bake all those dials out to the actual transform so that you can save it in your pose. So it takes that just a second to complete. Amaranthe. That sounds really wicked. Okay, let's take this and just a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So now another thing I want to do is I want to unpin all. So, all right, got her. I'm just going to save, just to make a folder here. Now, again, before I come back, I will recreate all this as its own library so I can save any products that I created for this project as a for sale product if I so choose. But I'll just have it separated so it's not mixed in with other libraries and whatnot. But anyway, we'll just grab her and we'll go pose preset. And here's a little bit of education for you. You always want to give it a descriptor. And if you're going to call let's just say we're going to call the pose set Amaranthe, and then we're going to give it a descriptor, and then we're going to give it a number. This is the DAS standard for naming poses. So right here, you're again not seeing the pop-up. Sorry about that. I guess I could switch it over here. Let me do that. I'll switch it over so just for this demonstration, you can see what I'm talking about. Because I have my pop-ups show up in the other window, and you sort of need to understand that. So we'll switch over to the second window here. This is my pop-up from DAS Studio, you're seeing, no doubt. You want to right-click on the name of the figure that you're saving the pose for, check all rotations. You want to expand this out. You want to go here. You just want to hold you want to check the Y. Go to the hip, do the exact same thing. Want to check the Y. Drill down to the face, and then uncheck the head, and then go here and just check general. And that's going to uncheck all the things for the facial expressions because you're not allowed to save facial expressions with DAS poses. And that's going to give you everything you need. So hit accept. And once again, we'll use the, if we like this pose, we want to get in a little tighter. Now, keeping in mind, this is going to be a square render. You want to give yourself a little bit at the bottom and the top, or at least the bottom. Highlight that, and your content window, Icon Creator Pro. I'll show you what that interface looks like right here. I realize I'm switching back and forth between windows, and you might not see everything. We're going to go back to Dash Studio after this. Yeah, so now you see what's up. And that is how we do it. I hate that when I select the application, it does not show the pop-up in the particular way that I've created the scene, but whatever. You can now see it, and that's how we do it. So now that's our first pose. Next time that I need to make a pose for this character that I don't already have, I'll just save it here, and boom, Bob's your uncle. At the end of the whole thing, you have this amazing, set of little poses that are purpose-built. So they're going to be different from anything you'd see in the store because you build them for a specific set and a specific scenario. So let's think about this for a second here. So what I want to do is I want to have her coat kind of like draped over this. So I know what I want to do is here. I like to use for simulation. We're talking about simulating right now. Sorry, I did jump over to a different subject. We're going to be simulating her coat, which is the PMO long kimono. I want to make sure that we have that is turned off. So if I highlight the long kimono, I go under general and simulation, make sure that the free simulation is turned off. We got her in the pose that we want. So for argument's sake, I'm just going to go ahead with the character, the main character selected. I'm going to click this little button right here, which you should see. Yep, you see it. I'm just verifying that. And give it a second to lay a keyframe in here, which hopefully it is done. It seems like it's still working. Wow, this session is running a little bit long. I'm trying to keep these around 15 minutes, but we'll cover this super quick. So now it's laid a keyframe right there. So we want to go to the end of our animation. And usually 30 is enough, but we'll just go to 59. Okay, let's just go 30. So also we can actually change this. The total keyframes, we'll put 30 right here because you just don't need that many for what we're going to do, which is just drape that jacket. Okay, and also longer ones can sometimes mess the whole thing up and make it blow up. So we're at 29. We're going to hit this little button again to make another keyframe on the body. And all this is really doing is ensuring that we get a chance to move the body to the exact pose that we had it set up to. Okay, so right now nothing's going to happen when I play this back and forth, but when I go back here, I'm going to press Control Shift and F, I believe. Control Shift F. I might have a, or we can just go to here. I think that might be still working on it. Let's let it work. I think it might maybe still working on the keyframe. Slower than I like it. Okay, now what I just did was that Control Shift F reset it back to 0. So all I have to do is go back to my go-to poses, bring her here. Now, don't worry about the fact that it's not in the final pose because we're on the one keyframe, right? So while I've got her, I'm going to grab the hips and I'm just going to lift her up and move her this way a bit and then move her back. Now she's going to go whoop as this timeline plays right into the final position. Oh, son of a gun. Son of a bitch. Sorry. Okay, so that did not work entirely because I guess I didn't get the keyframe set right here. I must have interrupted that process, but that's okay because how we save the pose. So now I can go to my number 30 keyframe with the figure selected. I've already got the number 1 spot at 1. So now I'm just going to click on this and that should put her right in the place she's supposed to be. Ooh. It didn't quite do what I wanted it to do, so something might be off there with that pose, but no matter. Gonna pick it up and make it right. Okay, so that's right. So now you should see a little bit of a, yeah, okay. There we go, that's what we're looking for. Now, we got that, so we're gonna go into the simulation settings, and we're going to select that would be on by default. We want to turn start bones for memorized pose off. I do realize that my, let me go in here and turn circular cam off for a second. I realized that was over that, but this right here is the default is on. We want to turn it off to off. So it's off. And for frames to simulate, we want to go animated timeline play range. Okay, so I can turn this back on now, no problem. And down here, we're just gonna hit the simulate button right there, and watch what happens. Watch the magic. And you guys can't see it, but there is actually a pop-up window showing my progress on my simulation. I'll just pop right here so you can actually see that. See that little bad boy run? That's what's up. Hope you guys are having an amazing early fall. It is October the 5th, and as of this recording, and it's only started to get cool just now, so I'm really happy for that. So yeah, we are rolling. Okay. So we're almost there, and we'll go back here and just watch the progress as she settles into place and her coat hopefully drapes. These little touches, you know, when you're making a 3D comic, it's best to just do it over and over and over until you get the render the way you want. Now, occasionally, I'm going to want a render that has a little more detail in it, and this is supposed to be this ancient castle. By the way, we got exactly what we want on that. It is not like going through the, well, am I right or am I wrong? Let me look. Before I go bragging, let me look. Okay. All right, so yeah, it did deform across the steps. It's a little bit touchy and going through it, and sometimes you'll find that, but I'm just going to nudge it just like that. And for now, it's close enough. Yeah, doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. Haven't made my camera yet, but I know that I'm going to want her to be like kind of, I want to see a bit of the castle with my angle. And I'll tell you what, man, there's an artist called Noggin, and he makes some really good animals. One of the main ones of his that I've used over the years to make creepy scenes creepier is his rat. And there are a couple of rats right now. Now, what I'm doing here, just I'm going to switch over to so you can see my other browser and view the DAZ installer. Second window here. So I'll just load this up. I don't know why I put Noggin. Let's see what Noggin purchases I've made, because he has some cool looking rats, and I know I have several high quality rats. So putting a little rat detail, oh man, Composer Croc, Noggin's rat, Pet Shop rat. These two are awesome looking. I'm gonna go ahead and install those. And I think there might be a newer version of a rat that I have also. Rat. I'm just gonna see. Oh. Let's sort by date. That might be the best looking rat that I have. I was thinking I had a predatory rat, but maybe I'm not seeing that right now. Unfortunately, the word rat comes up in too many things. Let's see if capital matters. Rat. Low res rat. Low res rat was another one. I'll go ahead and install that. These guys are still working on installing. Oh, that's just some other stuff that wants to install at face. Okay, rat. Oh, ratty. Ratty, boom, boy. Okay. Who is rat? Thought I get this start key. Look at Fire Robot Laboratory. All right, so we got several rats to choose from. I think the low res rat might be the call on this one just because it's already got a Genesis 9. At time to time, I do use up all that 65 gigabytes of physical memory. And, you know, in that regard, the default version of G9 does not do us any favors. So we'll just go to our menu here, smart, and we'll just type rat. Hopefully we're going to see, come on. We don't want to filter by selected. We just want to go all rats. Man, Noggin's rat is just money. It looks so good, especially with this Pet Shops Rats add-on. That's really my favorite rat. I'm just trying to see what the poses are included, if there's any reason to use the low-res rat. But I'm thinking I'm going to put this guy kind of up here in a couple of these, so I think maybe we'll go with the low-res rat on this occasion. All fine, so go low-res rat. Now, obviously, he's going to be in the scene center, so I want to grab the low-res rat, and I can use our good old go-to pose. So you see why I'm making that pose was important. And I'm just bring this guy up, and I want these rats to be like all about, you know, what's this chick doing? What's this person doing? We don't usually see humans. Only she's a vampire, you know, so she's ostensibly come out of the crypt, and she's going to hunt for the night, so to speak. Again, raise him up. Move it over. You can just hear him skittering. Okay, let's go ahead and create a camp, because I want to jump in and look at the I don't feel like we've gotten her in their final position, so we're just going to list a little bit of this. And then she's looking out at the vastness of her countryside, knowing she's got to get transportation or turn into a bat and fly or whatever. You know, so we're going to go with some faces up. I don't know. Just looking for cool expressions. That's one thing I don't like to mess with too much, and I will definitely buy an expression package. So nothing too dramatic. Just waking up. Let's skip her. She's tormented. There we go. Okay. So it's like she's angry to be awake. And this little guy, he's pretty small. How much of that we're going to see. So just keep it real generic with the rest for now. And I'm going to make several of these. I'm going to give this a quick save. Oh yeah. And we'll call this, we got to create a camera. Castle step. I like to put cam because it's at a glance. It's easier to look at and realize what you're looking at. You know, if you have like a dozen cameras, and just always going to turn that lamp off before I ever get off of it. And probably in this case, I'm going to want it to be a depth of field camera. So we're going to like line that up with her, have a nice little big field of view. That's off, cool. Kind of go over here a little bit and look at this camera to make sure it's still in what we want it to do. The right stuff's in focus. Take just a minute to res up. Okay, yeah, I kind of like how that. I kind of like how the torch is in view. We can mess with the angle just a little bit. Now, I want to make sure that our friend the rat is showing up there, and he is. Okay, cool. The reason I did that was because I want to pop in here and do some fine adjustment to the rat, and I need to be closer, and I didn't want to have to, you know, skitter back all that as far as the, see, he's not even perfectly on the ground, so that's good, and I'm glad we did that. So here, go back to the old low-res rat, and hopefully, oh, that sucks. So, Predatron, God bless him, he's an awesome PA, but he did not save this to the DAS standard. Well, let me rephrase that. The standard at the time probably allowed for what he did, which is to reset everything back at 000. Nowadays, they do not let you do that. You can set it on the ground, but you cannot set it 000. And he could be setting it straight on the ground. In other words, the X and Y is not being included. But anyway, obviously the fix for that is we'll just put the rats. I'm just going to put a temporary go-to pose, call it rat go-to. And again, just like I showed you, we will switching over here so you can see what I'm doing. Uncheck all, check the X there, hips, and you will get what you expect. Actually, we got to do this as well on this because we're moving over. All right, so we're just accepting that. Just going to go back to the studio. All right. So now I'm going to apply the pre-built pose. That right there is perfect, but it put him in the wrong position of the universe. So I'm just going to go here and bring him back to where I wanted to be. And now it has that sweet pose. Awesome. Little skittering friend. Now, I'm thinking, one thing I don't, there's no red eyes for this guy. I really wanted there to be like red vampiric eyes, and there might, I know noggins will do that, but I don't feel like that's a deal breaker. But I know all noggins do that, and he's got a specific preset for the eyes, I think. Could be wrong about that. These are not iris textures though, so you have to do some stuff to sort of dial them up. But anyway, this will work for now. Oh, there's a low-res rat 2. Why didn't I use low-res rat 1? Jeez, late crew. All right, here we go. I knew I had seen something where the eyes were dealt with. That's dope right there. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sub this guy. I'll leave him, but I'm going to bring in another low-res rat 2. Low-res rat sit. That's going to be him with hair. Oh, yeah, we don't need hair at this distance. Low-res rat sister.
You guys, the freest dub on ladder. You fumbled.
And we're going to go here and just use that same go-to. The great thing about go-tos is they work on any figure. So, like you saw the sphere worked on her. So we'll just keep these together a little bit now. Go in here and hit up. There we go. And let's give them a pose as well. Pose. Oh,
Bye.
That's cool. Oh, every time we apply the pose, we got to use our go-to. That's okay. What is this craziness? What is this craziness? Okay. We are getting to a point where I've got this surrender where it should be kind of cool. Go back here, and I guess, getting a little bit of gamer back talk over here, so I guess what I'm going to do is end this one right here, and we will run the render, and when we come back next time, we'll start at where this render is today, and I'm hoping it's going to be really cool with the little rats and stuff. I may take it further. But yeah, that's a good place to stop for today, and I'll hit up. Let's look at it on the big screen. We will look at it on the big screen, and hopefully you'll be able to hear me. So yeah, that looks pretty good. That's getting there. I feel like there's some more details that I can maybe throw in here, but yeah, a nice little grimace on her. I might want to adjust the arms just a little bit, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. So yeah, I think we're ready to go ahead and just save this from where it's at and pick up with you guys next time. Thanks for watching.